And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has arrived in the United Kingdom for high-level discussions with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. The meetings, organized in the E3 plus Ukraine format, will focus on defense and ongoing support for Ukraine amid the ongoing conflict. Zelenskyy announced his visit on Facebook, highlighting both bilateral and multilateral engagements during his UK stop. Taiwan's Coast Guard said on Sunday its vessels were in a standoff with Chinese ships involved in an operation in waters southeast of the island. Chinese state media reported on Saturday that the law enforcement operation was in response to talks between Japan and the Philippines to draw a boundary in waters to the east of Taiwan. While the Taiwanese Coast Guard strongly condemned China's use of the Japan-Philippines negotiations as a pretext to conceal the attempts to create the illusion of jurisdiction. The Taiwan Coast Guard also said its vessels had expelled 4 Chinese ships from the island's restricted waters and has deployed 7 patrol vessels to help with surveillance of the Chinese ships. China asserts Taiwan is part of its territory and claims exclusive control over the waters. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung has nominated Han Sung-sook as the country's next Prime Minister, a move which could make her the first woman to hold the post in 2 decades. Meanwhile, the political spotlight is also on growing public anger over ballot shortages, which disrupted recent local elections. DD India's Adamya Mishra gets us more.
South Korean President Lee Jae-myung has nominated Han Sung-sook as the country's next Prime Minister. Han currently serves as the Minister for Small and Mid-sized Businesses and Startups. Han previously led internet giant Naver as Chief Executive. If approved by Parliament, Han would become South Korea's first female Prime Minister in 2 decades. The presidential office says she is expected to play a key role in driving the country's artificial intelligence transformation. Under South Korea's presidential system, the Prime Minister's role is mainly administrative and ceremonial. Meanwhile, South Korea's election authorities are facing growing criticism after ballot shortages disrupted local elections. The local elections, held on June 3rd, were seen as an important test of public support for President Lee's administration and a measure of whether conservatives could recover from the political fallout surrounding former President Yoon Suk-yeol. Public anger over the ballot shortages has sparked protests in Seoul. Thousands of demonstrators gathered outside a vote counting center, demanding that the elections be held again. Protesters carried national flags and signed reading "Election Rerun" and "Rigged Vote."
Since people end up voting while checking the vote count results on their phones, there are serious problems in the process. And the news report says some people had to go home without voting because there weren't enough ballot papers. I thought this makes no sense in an election where every citizen's right to vote should be guaranteed.
According to election officials, 50 out of more than 14,000 polling stations ran out of ballots, while voting was temporarily suspended at several others because supplies arrived late. The Election Commission says it will investigate the shortages and review what went wrong during the voting process. Adamya Mishra's report for DD India.